Yeah, so I would describe myself as a more or less classical product designer. So I'm designing products and mainly furniture, and I'm very interested in like daily life situations and products and the observation of daily life, and also on in globalization, industrialization, and through this observation I try to create new objects, and that's what I'm doing on new products.
I'm a product designer based in Berlin, and maybe that's something also that connects us, that I also have a really deep interest in daily life and daily routines. And I'm usually trying to think about objects and how we handle them, and whether they could function a bit differently than how we are used to it, and that this could create a new perspective on our environment. And I usually try to design things that look a bit as if they could have existed for a long time already, or that makes you think of, why wasn't this done before? So we just came to Palazzo Litta and did the tour around the whole building, and it was really fascinating how many different works were here, and also hosted by different institutions or brands or designers, and that the exhibition doesn't really give you an interpretation by itself, but leaves it quite open what you think of the works and how you connect them. And it's really interesting how these connections are also held together by this one building, and how they cope with the space, because some are really relating to the space and some are more like a counterpart to it, and you really are a bit overwhelmed in the end and have to rethink about the whole context, and which works you find interesting and why, and how they connect to each other. So it really doesn't give you a headline in the end, and that's also a good thing. It gives you a really broad overview of what people are thinking of right now, and it could be crafts, or it could be industry, it could be surface or structure. So it's really quite a good it's quite a good overview of what's happening.
Yeah, for me it's very similar to what Martha said. It was kind of a labyrinth also, in a way. So a labyrinth of forms, materials, personalities, industrial things, crafted things, the environment itself, like the spaces, the rooms itself, in contrast to the things that have been shown, the person that are going through this installation, and that's still what's happening right now. I'm running through this labyrinth in my head and try to connect things, and I start to link things that I wouldn't link maybe if they were presented properly in a way and claimed exactly.
I go to Milan every year because it's the one place where everything comes together, and I really try to make the most of my time by going to the fair as well as seeing all the exhibitions in the city. And each has a different purpose for me. Like the fair is more the place where all the brands show what they are interested in and what they're working in, and also how they present themselves. And then you have all these exhibitions in the city which are more experimental and give you a different way of thinking, or you are asked different questions by looking at them than you are when you look at those brand presentations at the fair. But then overall it's also the best place to meet everyone that you want to see again, that are working in the same field, and it's always a great place to connect. So that's maybe the most important thing.
Yeah, for me also the most important thing here is to connect with other people that are sharing or not sharing, or the same or not the same interest, and to see what's going on, and to get an overview of what's happening right now and in the design file. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny actually, we got to know each other during the Cologne fair, and then we realized that we actually come from the exact same area in Germany, which is more rural or village based. And it's also funny to maybe compare our work a bit, because we have some shared things that we are interested in, and it's interesting to think about whether that could relate to where we come from, which is this really improvised, self-made houses, kind of patchwork, rural environment. And yeah, we both have a really strong interest in a less curated surrounding, or in what could be considered as normal, or also maybe sometimes coincidentally, or stuff like that. So we don't really work together, but we are kind of in a dialogue since we met.
Yeah, exactly. I think we, in a way, I mean, all people today with social media and like also through exhibitions, in a way, you work together because you look at things from each other and you learn from each other, and that makes you work in a generation that also talks to each other, that is showing images through social media to each other, liking things from each other. So in a way, I think we in this generation we work together without the presence of each other in the same room or whatever. Working on the same topic in a way.
Yeah, like we come from the same background, but we never knew each other until 1.5 years ago or something like that. And then we met through a fair like this one, and then you kind of see connections suddenly, or there's some kind of similar thinking or process. And this exactly what you said, the communication through objects, that's really fascinating, because maybe that's in the end what design is about, in a way, or what products do. I mean, of course they have a certain function, but they also tell you something, and so it's always a dialogue.